Well, last time in this mini marathon of Swan Princess movies, they horribly botched the attempt at a pirate movie. In fact, okay, I say botched; they barely did it at all. So what a better thing to botch next than something that my country helped to make a phenomenon back in the 1960s. Welcome everyone to the Swan Princess Royally Undercover from 2017. Once again directed by Richard Rich, because apparently he's a direct-to-DVD CG shovelware machine.
Yep, he is. Okay, I actually do have something to say that based on what Jova asked yesterday about the whole, is it how is this movie better? All right, one thing that I actually do give this movie credit, unlike the previous movie, it has only one major plot and it focuses on just that, which to be fair is more than we can say for the previous movie. So there's that.
Cool.
Whoop.
Basic, somewhat competence. Good job, Rich. Good
Yeah,
job.
well
You did
done.
it. You
Well
did
done.
it.
Have a star.
Proud of you.
Okay, good. So what logos do we start before?
We're going to start before the ironically named Sony Wonder logo.
I wonder why we're doing this.
All right, take us away.
3, 2, 1, go.
I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
Hey.
I'm angry.
Well, dude,
You can tell by my
I'm here
voice.
for a very fun time with my friends.
Also,
It's worse to be disappointed in someone than it is
Also,
to be
Shiro,
angry.
you can look forward to this because I kind of got spoiled by the poster making the thumbnail for this, but apparently number 9 shows up again in this movie.
As
Who's
in the
that?
cat. The
Oh,
cat.
right.
The Rotterdam's cat.
Wow, I don't even remember the cats from these
you-
movies. That's how bad they are.
Number 9.
So you see, Shiroi, the cat returns. Wait,
Also, a cat called Number 9.
Hey, wait a
What-
minute, wait a
okay,
minute,
so
wait a minute, wait a
since
minute.
when
When
did
do we have
the
a
village and
mode?
the-
I mean,
Yeah, I was
sorry,
about
a
to ask.
dam. A dam.
A
When did
damn.
Attack on Titan? What?
Jova,
Okay,
Jova,
question. Pedro, can you answer this for me?
go on.
Do
Scorpion?
Odette,
What are you doing here?
does Odette and
Dereck.
Dereck, do they appear in this? Are they important to the plot?
Nope.
Also, this guy
They
did
do
bungee jump.
appear. They do appear, but they're barely in it.
Also,
I
this guy
thought-
did bungee jumping with a simple rope. This gonna break your spine.
I thought
Yeah,
Pedro
he's
said they don't
Scorpion.
become important again until a few movies from
Oh,
the
okay.
last
wait,
one
wait.
we watched.
From what I recall, from what Pedro said, it's this movie that got the fans. Well, okay. To be fair, the sixth movie.
That's in the previous one.
Yeah. To be fair, the sixth movie was already pissing off fans, but it was this movie that was the final straw, and Sony actually had to listen for once to feedback. I know, such a foreign concept.
Also, Jova, after the previous movie, do you really expect these movies to open like a Swan Princess movie should?
How should a Swan Princess?
Oh my
movie?
god, we're
Wait,
really
wait,
making
wait.
the chef a recurring character in these.
Okay.
Well, with a fairy tale style opening, maybe. Is this
Yeah.
what this series is supposed to be?
Okay. To give Dej credit, I don't really think there's really necessarily a rule on how a Swan Princess movie should open, because it's not like they've ever had this traditional opening thing. Don't get me wrong, there are tons of problems with this movie, but I wouldn't say it goes against the supposed
Oh
way
my
a
god.
movie
How
of
did
the
it
Swan
get that
Princess
big that
process should
fast?
open.
Not just that, nobody in the village noticed it until now.
Brilliant.
And I love how people are still going about their daily routine, despite the
Yeah,
fact that,
again, no one noticed that.
maybe we should,
Again, I have to ask.
Wait, hold on. Have they still not noticed it?
Apparently, no, because no one is, being in panic or anything or stressing about it.
Theo, are you expecting Dereck and Odette to have
Antonio.
to actually make
Oh
a smart
my.
decision?
Okay. Look, for as much as we like to meme on them and all, they were technically doing good in the last movie. It's just that, they were away for so long. And most of the stupid stuff could have been blamed on Uberta.
Also, was that Kirk Thornton?
I think so,
Possibly.
yes.
Seriously, how is nobody noticing this? And
Like,
no, I don't
it's
care
right
if it's in
there.
the back of the village.
It's right there.
Look,
It's a big hole in the
experience has
wall.
taught- Wait. Experience has taught me people react to stuff way too late until it's too late.
It reminds me, it's like that bit in Men of Steel where the guy on the building only notices the big terraforming alien machine only when sorry, it's not Men of Steel, BVS, the opening of BVS, where it's only when Bruce calls him on the phone that the guy notices the big terraforming machine out this window.
I mean, to be fair, Pedro, it was the climax of Man of Steel where it happened, so I can understand.
Sold to A.
Yeah.
Sold to a what?
Account Antonio, as the chef said.
Yes.
Also, I have to say again, they improved definitely with the beard technology. You know, no single clipping. You can tell they busted their ass for that.
True, yeah. I mean, I'll admit the hair textures actually seem proper in this movie. So
And again,
far.
it's more like they're not clipping with the model. That's the more surprising thing to me.
Which means, of course, that they have to cut costs on other
On everything else. So yes.
Okay. So if I understand correctly, Odette and Dereck are visiting another kingdom, essentially?
Yes, but apparently the chef is so obsessed with this fucking spice plant.
Yeah, kind of. That's another thing that actually does make
Oh my god, that makes me notice it.
Yep. Again, Remeteo, this is what we established in movie 5. Dereck doesn't think. He does not. But anyway.
Wait. Oh, okay.
I thought it was since the first
Not
one.
even Dereck. Literally anyone in the village. There were literal habitations there, houses where people lived.
Okay. Honestly, I know we like to call it their stupidity, but to Odette and Derek's credit, they just got here. So, you know,
it was literally not one of their problems.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That said, the citizens not noticing this, yeah, that's just bland out stupid.
It's two things. One, it's another thing that actually does a bit elevate this movie a bit over the previous one. They expand the world a bit by introducing another kingdom.
How did he get down that quick enough to save her from a raging waterfall?
Oh, you think that's interesting, Jova? Wait till you see this. Pay attention to this sequence here. Pay attention. Hold on. Wait for it.
Oh,
okay.
The count's gone.
No,
wait for it.
How?
Excuse me?
He was literally down there, and now he's up there.
This is actually a gag in my country where something like that happens, and you ask, how do you go there? He's like, there's a shortcut right there.
Man, it's a real funny thing that we got over. So we saw that Xeno gear fit part.
Okay.
What kind of weird magic did Antonio pull out of his hat to do that?
Okay, look. If maybe they were playing that as a gag, and maybe they are, I'd be fine with it.
But it's for a serious moment, and he has no explanation.
No. Yeah. That's the thing, but they don't play it as a joke. That's the thing. But to answer a question from to answer something that Jova asked about yesterday. Yes, no, Jova. Even though we're introducing this new kingdom to expand the world, we're still not going to address what the hell happened to King William's original kingdom.
Oh, Jesus. Sanji is very disappointed in you, Mr. Chef. They do not use knives to actually fight.
I love this one. Hold on. But it's okay, because all the opinion we have is for you, young chef.
Also, totally not a real bad guy, Count Antonio.
I was about to say, this kind of villain.
Well,
or it's just gonna be one of those.
Or at the very least, the one who employed the spy at the very beginning.
Or maybe he's just a red hero.
Okay, I would have to say, compared to the previous movie, this intro is much more on point at the very least.
At the very
I don't know, guys. Why would somebody with a coat that cool be a villain?
It's the tricorn Shiri and the mustache.
Hey,
yes.
Tio.
It's a stereotyping, of course.
Tio,
yes.
Jack Sparrow wears a tricorn, and he ain't the bad guy of his franchise.
He's more
Jova, the more marketable image is just with the bandana, not with the tricorn.
I prefer him with the tricorn. Thank you very much. He wore the tricorn for the climax battle in.
I get what you mean. Don't worry.
And yes, Pedro?
You know, guys, this title animation thingy looked way nicer in hand-drawn animation, to be honest.
But that's not even that, Pedro. It looked even cooler already for the Christmas special. Why did they not keep that?
Okay.
Also, this castle, it looks like a toy castle that I would have seen as a kid. It's like, Anyway, yeah, Jova?
So it seems that they're going to let basically the citizens move in because, well, Yeah, now they don't have
Oh,
a home.
goodies! This movie gonna get topical with refugees.
You wish to.
Now we're gonna have a party in the castle.
Well, Shirai Movie 5 told me that
Oh
these
my
people
God,
solution
Uberta.
to a problem is just to sing.
Oh my
So-
god, Uberta's actually acting like a queen for once. Well, mind you, a competent one for once.
Wait, have you been talking for like several hours into the
Oh,
night?
speaking
Like what
of
this is?
songs,
Song? Why?
Not even 1 minute after the title screen.
It's basically it's your typical, do good deeds type of song.
Yeah, let's
sure,
let's
why
help
not?
each other together. Also, hi, Elise.
You know, it's
Oh.
nice that these two have been in the movie for more than 5 minutes.
I know, right?
And we actually did something important.
Oh,
Also,
hey,
Lucas and his
Lucas.
parents.
Hey,
Yeah,
we
that's
remember
because,
that they existed.
Yeah, that's because from this point on, Lucas and his parents are going to become reoccurring. Lucas's parents, and as well as Lucas himself, are tulip farmers in the kingdom.
Yeah, you know
Oh, so
what?
we actually
I'm fine
got a
with
job.
this.
Cool.
Yeah, good. Okay, you know what? This song isn't bad, so whatever.
No, this is actually not that bad. The ones that come after are not as good, but yeah, this one's okay.
We have
Honestly-
sealed away the boots.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, okay, obvious quirks aside, this movie does seem like an improvement over the last one. The opening actually connects better with the plot here and there. The song does not bad, like, at all. The animation, okay, it's not all better, but there are a lot of places where the animation has done better, and hey, this seems to be an interesting idea for a plot, having to help a kingdom that got, well,
Still
wrecked by a
pitting.
mysterious foe, essentially, and I'm guessing the and I'm guessing that eventually
The
we'll
royal
have to
mystery
solve
is
the
for the next
mystery.
one, I think, Jova.
Regardless,
couldn't
though,
afford-
I'm sensing that there's going to be a mystery plot, essentially, about who was behind it and to stop that evildoer.
Also, we just had an entire minute shot of just a still painting.
Wow.
This song is kind of remind me of that one of the beginning ones from Quest for Camel, the one of the Knights of the Round Table.
Oh, I like that soundtrack. Mind you, I
It was
said
a
the
bit-
soundtrack.
No, that particular song it was referencing was a bit too cheesy.
Okay.
Why did that sound like the ending of Circle of Life?
Okay, now things. Okay, so we already finished Lucas's character arc in the first, so obviously we need a new character arc for him. And the character arc they came up with for Lucas is weird. Listen to this.
Okay. Tulips.
Hold on.
That voice for his mother
Hold on.
sounds familiar.
Oh,
What does that got to do with anything?
Oh, let me guess. I know.
the parents are trying to ship these two.
The problem is that
No.
he's not a prince, though, so it would never work out between the two.
No. We're not at the point where they're in love yet, Jova. It's more so the fact that he feels like he for whatever reason, even though they've become friends in the previous movie, he feels the need to make it weird. Why? Because he's not a prince. And trust me, this is going to be his character arc, earning the title of prince, even though I don't understand why is this even a thing.
Okay. To play some bout of devil's advocate here, in old medieval times, essentially, it was considered beneath royalty to be friends.
Interact with the commoners like this. Also,
Well,
this reminds me.
oh my god,
speaking of
Odette's
royalty.
father! Speak of the devil.
After 6 movies of not even acknowledging his existence, King William's existence is
We-
actually
Well,
We did for
okay, to
movie
be
5
fair-
during the flashback sequence.
Yeah,
By the way-
yeah, we did actually acknowledge
Yeah.
that he existed in movie 5.
Yeah, sure.
It wasn't even supposed to be something front and center, so I have to ask, why was the tulip field the best thing we've seen so far in this stupid movie?
I don't know.
Because-
Again.
Like
and-
he said,
and
that,
look at
that
that.
hair and beard look not Saigon.
And look at that. Odette's hair actually doesn't look bad up close. Like, and hair's one
Oh
of the
god, what is
hardest.
happening? Oh.
A new star.
Beer.
Oh,
I hope you guys don't get too invested in this new ship because
ship?
let's just say,
Ship's been a thing for a while, hasn't it?
well, unfortunately, Jova Richard's got other plans, but we'll see. Also, Alpernian code. Okay, I am by no means an expert on how this works,
It's similar enough
But-
to Morse code.
It's a visual equivalent to Morse codes.
No,
Pretty
I
much.
get that, Theo. What I mean is that all they're doing is, blinking that thing while they're talking. Every time they stop talking, they stop blinking that thing. I'm pretty confident that's not how it works.
Actually,
there should be.
Actually, that
It's
is-
actually more for the audience convenience.
yeah.
Like again, I really don't know this code, so I don't know what they're actually equivalent to the actual code, but that's legit.
Yeah. This is actually more or less how it works, essentially, depending on
I
the
guess.
blinks, dashes, and looks of how the light blinks, essentially. The only
mean,
other
yeah.
thing is that sometimes there's a bout where people write down what's being said, but nah, it seems more or less legit.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, he now is afraid of you, and I don't really...
Again.
Okay,
Like
I understand the idea. I understand the idea that what Bill was saying, that at the time, royals were not expected to get along with the
If
populace
anything,
because they're
Pedro,
beneath
it's
them.
a bit similar to the beginning of Disc 3 of Final Fantasy IX.
Well, I get that too, but my point is that yes, in royalty that usually makes it, but from Elise is still just a kid, so from her, and Lucas is also still just a kid. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, for whatever reason, Uberta now has the hots for Antonio.
Wait.
Why?
Let me guess. This is the setup for the obvious downfall when it turns out that he's the bad guy, isn't it?
Yeah, basically.
Oh.
No.
That was kind of funny.
No. Honestly, I know exactly how this is going to go. See, they know that Uberta and Rogers is a popular ship, so of course they'll bring in something that's going to challenge the ship, but when it turns out that this guy's the bad guy, then Uberta will realize that she was looking for love in the wrong place, and she should, stay by Rogers' side and whatnot. Like, come on, I've seen this plot done so many times before.
I understand that, Jova, but I'm gonna have to agree with Ashley. Like after all this time where they had after all this time of relationship build up between Rogers and Uberta, to have her immediately
Oh,
offer
look,
this
he
guy,
even has vicious dogs, too.
Vicious. They look so derpy.
Yes, Pedro.
But yeah, like I was saying, throughout this entire series up until this point, after having so much relationship development between Uberta and Rogers, to now all of a sudden, for what you have Uberta fall gaga for this guy just at first sight is a betrayal to the development that she had with Rogers. If you ask me, to be honest with you, it's cartoonish and doesn't really respect the fact that she should already be in a relationship and should respect that fact, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah. Don't get me wrong. It's dumb that they're doing this late into the franchise, and they should know better. But I know exactly what they're doing. Like, well, from what I can garner, this isn't going to sink the ship, but it's something meant to test it. It's dumb that they're doing it this late in there, but
Did they have to do this?
yes.
Yes, too.
Anyway, but yeah, it turns out the Count has a chauffeur called Bruno. Interesting.
Silencio.
I wish this movie would be quiet.
You're right,
but unfortunately,
you're right, Tio. Eventually this should cross over with Luca.
no, please keep Luca out of
Yeah,
this.
I was about this. Well, I will mention something else, slightly tied to what you just said, but I want to reserve it for later.
Mm-hmm.
For the time being, Dweebs,
Yeah.
can you check me who Count Antonio is voiced by, just to confirm if it's Kirk or someone else?
Honestly,
this
Joe.
movie's-
Honestly, Jova, when it comes to people who say this should be a crossover with Luca, I can only quote one line from Luca to as a response to that. What's wrong with you, stupido? There you go.
So, what's the character's name again?
Count Antonio di Borromeo.
Yes, it is Kirk Thornton.
Ah,
Yeah,
good.
neat.
They dragged poor Kirk Thornton into this thing.
He was already, I think, the voice of number 9 in movie 4.
Pretty much.
Or was that David Lodge? No, that was David Lodge.
Again, I mean, Odette and Dereck seem to be having a relatively fair enough role in this movie.
They're actually
so
very
far.
more voice lines than in the previous movie.
Don't expect that to last, though.
Also, my God, you weren't joking, Peter, when you mentioned that they made Roger Swan likable as the movies passed it on.
I know, right? It's not just him. Even Uberta, isn't like. Remember what she told back in movie 5?
Yeah, no, but
Pretend
it
she
would be
was dying.
again, considering also the oh God. Also, compared to the other more cartoony style of the other
Jesus.
characters, Count Antonio really sticks out by having these more handsome features. It's like having handsome Squidward stuck
Just
through
listen
the
to this.
entirety of an episode.
So is what? Fuck you. Fuck you. Basically, we said, "Oh, I understand that your wife died. Yes, my wife died years ago." And she was like, "Oh, I'm so delighted. Oh no, I'm sad. I'm really, really sad. Fuck
Yeah.
you."
Yeah, I've seen this comedy
Yeah,
routine
that's
before.
not.
And it's not really.
That's not a good take.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you're better. Sorry, go on.
And it's not good here. I'm just gonna say it's not good.
Oh, sure. Oh, obviously. My main problem is that, okay, don't get me wrong. Uberta was never a saint who was always like full of tact or anything. But this is just like, remember, again, that's all the way back to movie 5 where she literally pretended to be dying just to convince Dereck to give her a grandchild.
Oh no.
Oh, so
Why
yes,
are
I
you?
Sorry, none.
I
Wha-
do it.
why-
Oh, go on, sure.
Oh, sorry. Go on. No, go on.
Okay. Like, yeah, I absolutely do get where you're coming from on this point. You're like, oh God, will your hair stop undulating like that? Anyway, but no, like, well, with Uberta, yeah, she was never a saint. She had redeeming qualities in the original trilogy. Starting with movie 5, I wouldn't say all those redeeming qualities are gone, because no, she is technically still a benign queen. But man, it feels like they mistake what should be humorous
Hold on.
with what's just needlessly cruel.
Roger is, of course, jealous, so he wants to demonize Antonio, literally. And now check this out. Antonio, you saw him without his hat when he took it off when he greeted Uberta. So,
Okay.
sorry.
I can see this going one of two ways. Either the twist is that it turns out Rogers is actually right, or the twist is that it turns out Rogers is wrong. Count Antonio was always a good guy, but for whatever reason, he will kindly reject Uberta, so she'll realize
Okay.
that Rogers is the one.
If
for
I, sorry, go on, Shira.
I have to ask, why would you like? I know, like, you're kind of in love with him or whatever, but why would you show someone who is essentially a stranger the kingdom's fortune, like where it is? Like, why?
It's more the things they donated for his village. But still, okay. If I recall correct, if I understood correctly,
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to interrupt you here
Oh, no, go on.
because she's completely over Rogers. So much so for that declaration of love they had in movie 6. Like, seriously, she completely. Oh, listen here. Antonio is a villain?
oh wow, we wasted no time for that.
Wait,
Oh my god, I am
Wait,
so shocked.
Wait, hold on. Was that supposed to be the revelation that he's the bad guy?
Yes, as Roger Simon just said, I knew it! I knew Antonio was a rapscallion.
You know what?
That was really sudden.
You know what? I appreciate, like, this doesn't exactly say much for the movie, but I do appreciate that, you know, it's something so obvious. I know Jova was trying to give it credit, but I don't trust the writers to be, you know, this
hold on.
smart.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Steve. And you could have phrased that better. Phrase it like this: not like.
Really?
Hey,
Really?
you know,
Yes, really.
Undercover Work 101, sunglasses do not automatically make you spies.
Did sunglasses exist back then?
No.
Rogers invented them.
Also, guys, I just want to
But
point
can
out.
I,
I just want to point out they were wearing sunglasses at night.
Yeah.
Go ahead, finish, Shira.
I do appreciate the movie not making us wait until the
Sure.
last act to reveal that, you know?
Sure.
'Cause it's like,
I love this line here. Hold on.
That was easy.
Can we borrow Lucas? Lucas is not an object that you
Yeah,
can
it's
borrow.
like, excuse me, can I borrow your video game?
Okay.
What is
To be
happening?
fair, the whole borrowing someone thing, that's a common phrase you hear, like, and it's usually used in a playful sense, essentially, so...
I guess.
Could have been phrased better. Like they easily could have what they did, Jova, but they could have easily choose something else.
So essentially, the name of the game is phrasing.
All right, my turn to
we're
give
really doing this.
All right, my turn to give it credit. There actually is one joke from John Bob in a moment that I actually do enjoy, to be fair. So I will give the credit
20%.
there. No, not this one. The one after this.
This hornswoggling is going terrible.
All right. Hold on. Yeah, exactly. Now let's. I actually do like this particular comment from John Bob in a moment here. Even though, this sequence is stupid.
Yeah, but how else are we supposed to show that they're spies? Or undercover?
They're about as good at being spies as James Bond.
Here you go. This line coming from John Bob regarding Steve. Okay, that was good. I'll give you that one. I will give you that. I'll give you that one.
I mean, I see that kind of joke in Zack and Cody. As well.
Also, I don't know what you're talking about, Pedro. Lucas suddenly seems okay to hang around at least now.
Okay, to elaborate to elaborate a bit on what I just said before. Bond is a bit of a crap spy because everyone knows who he is.
Yeah. Ball pits?
Oh, and they just vanished into it.
And they're terribly animated too.
So Rogers created plastic?
Of course he did.
And sunglasses and everything else.
I mean, very little about having spy equipment.
This
At
is
this
a
point,
World
Java
War
plastic
II.
is just minimal.
This is literally a World War II bunker. In fact, this looks a lot like that Hydra
Okay.
location.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, what's this time period supposed to be?
That joke
Medieval.
about sleeping 1.3 hours per day is cute.
Yeah.
Basically, they're just trying to make Rogers the Leonardo da Vinci of this universe, basically.
How does all this work?
Boat?
How
I
the
don't know.
technology? What the?
Steampunk bow ties.
Okay,
Now,
cool.
now, Dwibs, this pen is a class-free grenade. 3 clicks, activates it, and another 3 clicks, disarms it.
I
There you
don't
go.
think Rogers is the Leonardo.
How long
da
did you say
Vinci.
the fuse was?
He's the Q.
Q.
Robots.
Hey, Pedro, how long did you say the fuse
Mannequins,
was?
Oh,
Grow up, Dwibs.
they looked kind of robotic, but
And yes, Pedro, there is an alternate ending of the film on YouTube where Bond does that. He says how long the fuse was and the place blows up.
Yes, of course.
All right.
That's
so,
actually an obvious thing.
so here's
Go on.
here's a question. What about the stuff that actually, helps you disguise yourself as a spy? Given how, Elise is the freaking princess, it might be a bit tough
well,
for
I
her to
guess
go
these can help.
undercover. Okay.
Oh, it's your typical. Haha! Now I've disappeared.
Also, I
Also,
just love he picked the center one, but now it's already back there.
Rogers, question. Hey, Rogers, question. Where were all these gadgets and those slick moves in the previous movie when you were sneaking into the castle?
Yeah, this is another thing. It's two things. One, this is the point where Dereck and Odette stop being important. Second, this is the thing. Yes, while this movie does have some better aspects to it, we still have the usual general stupidity of this franchise intact. So unfortunately, it's just one of those cases where, it's better than the previous one, but I could go into my bathroom right now and produce something better than Swan Princess 6. So
Oh,
I don't know.
Yes.
like okay.
so how about Totally Spies coming back? Let's talk about something at least decent. Come
I
on.
know, right?
Yeah.
Wait a
I
minute,
mean,
wait a minute. Come to think of it, I see a statue of a squirrel, but where are the Scullions? Weren't they supposed to be the royal guards now?
That's the statue of Scully, the one dedicated to him.
But this comes back to my point here. We haven't seen
Where are the Scullions? That's actually a good
we
question.
haven't seen a single one in this movie, and they were supposedly
Silly.
the new castle guards.
Silly tale. They don't exist anymore in Richard's puny little mind.
But they
That's
were
weird,
such a
because
crucial aspect of movie 5.
not just that. Again, compared to something experienced in 3, this series seems to be at least remembering, more than that. Some of its continuity elements.
And not only that, they literally have a statue dedicated to Scully. So, like, what is even happening right now?
You know what? See, this is the primary problem. This is a quote-unquote spy movie, but much like Cars 2, this feels like a spy movie if it was written by a 10-year-old. Like, it has that overly simplistic view of how spies are,
Pedro, 10-year-olds have a better imagination than this.
Okay, well, yes, that is true, but you know what? You get my point, though, right?
Yeah. To give Pedro credit, I do get where he's coming from. Like,
yeah. It's just a vague understanding of what people think spies are than anything.
Which, to be fair, James Bond hasn't entirely helped it. Don't get me wrong, franchise is good, but like Drew's mentioned...
Are you talking about them in general or the modern movies?
In general, because like Drew's mentioned, yes, the movies can be good, but James Bond is a crap spy considering how many people know him, when the idea of a spy is to, not be known.
Not be known.
My God, those Dobermans really look derpy.
Are the Mission Impossible films considered to be spy movies?
Yes. Same as Jason Bourne.
Oh, right, yeah.
So yeah, our primary plan right now is to go to Antonio's kingdom and try to expose him for the evil con man that he is, basically.
If I recall correctly, one of the dialogues before mentioned about him not removing his gloves, and they made a point in the intro showcasing the fact that the saboteur does have 2 mechanical fingers, so...
Yeah, Joe brought up a good point earlier. All of a sudden, Lucas is way more comfortable being around Elise. So what happened? Maybe. It's like Richard Rich can't tell what the fuck he wants to do with this character.
I will say, maybe, there must have been a little bit of a time skip, even if it was only, weeks or whatever. So, maybe he's just used to being around her now.
That's a thing, as far as the movie conveys it, there was no time skip. As far as we can tell, this is taking place over the course of, 2 days.
A couple of days.
Okay. The way to place this movie... I'm not sure if I want to say this is better or worse than... Okay. I think I'll say this. I think this movie is still probably worse than the first 4. But
Whoa! What?
Dang!
Animal abuse, just casual animal abuse.
Even in the first trilogy, Jean-Paul was not abused this much.
Anyway, yeah, shit, what was it? All right.
You were saying that you were not saying that this movie is worse than the first 4 or something along those lines?
I think I'm gonna put this movie as better than 5 and 6. Yes, even 5.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like the animation...
no, definitely.
For once, the animation seems like they're at least trying, and... Yeah, well, as annoying as it is that Dereck and Odette don't get as much focus on the plot here and there, this plot still does feel overall better than 5 or 6's plots as well.
Oh yeah, and this is another thing that I don't particularly care for, specifically in the way they handle Lucas and Elise's banter in this. Hold on, I'll wait. This is... Dear Signor Bruno, why did you spell that in Italian?
Maybe they're implying that they're Italian.
Okay, I wanted to wait, and for all I know, it's still, being that there's a surprise twist of that, Count Antonio was not really the bad guy, but just in case, way classy to go for this movie series to have the first major foreign type of set of characters being Italians and being the bad guys. Thanks.
Again, though, how funny would it be actually if it turns out that what Elise heard is actually something of a big misunderstanding? Because
when Tangled did this, at least they made a point that the person was actually an imposter that was just part of that country.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing with Antonio is I still hesitate to call him a bad guy because all he said is just that he doesn't really want to marry the queen because he's a flirt. I don't know why they took that to mean he's the bad guy, but I guess so.
Hold on, I'm sorry to be anal right now. In the last movie, we've established that this kid was good at climbing trees on his own.
Yes.
I guess you forgot that.
That's a good point, actually.
Also, to answer your question, it's more the fact that and I guess we just had them up on
They're going to
screen.
use the spy gadgets, guys. That's why.
There's also the fact, Jova, that they made a point to have stuff like Uberta showing how much the kingdom donated with compete with the old woman donating her single penny and everything. So my major guess, also Roger has a radio. My major guess, Jova, is that he intentionally sabotaged the dam so he can pull a lucrative business or something like that.
Screw you, movie.
What?
They just said my name's Bob, John Bob, while he's in this place that looks like the roulette.
I know.
Yeah,
Honestly,
it's one of the
fine.
better references that they've done in a way.
Yeah, I'll admit that at least feels like a reference that's not a blatant, oh, we're totally hip and everything. Like, no, I'd say that was the I'd say it was mildly clever. Oh, not amazing or anything, but I'm fine with that one. Again, honestly, okay, look, the obvious lack of animation quality aside, this movie just seems kind of...
Is she flirting with him?
Yeah, big time.
That's what she's been doing this entire movie.
It's like, Lord Rogers is right there being blue balled like that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's my main concern with this movie, the way it treats
Oh,
Rogers and
she
Uberta.
even made a wedding cake.
She's like
Sorry, go on, Shiro.
Deji, she's been ogling him very clearly since the beginning of the movie. Like,
You
when
know
she
what I
met
need
him.
in my Swan Princess product? Netorare.
This is my main problem. Like, this is my main problem. Imagine if during the Tangled series, for whatever reason, Rapunzel started ogling some other random dude right in front of Eugenia.
What is happening?
Okay.
That's a good question.
I will give you this, Pedro. Uberta is definitely probably the worst thing about this movie. Like, okay.
Who's the bad guy here?
Apparently Antonio,
Queen.
even though... Oh, thank
Sure.
God, thank God, an interruption on both ends. But, like, okay, look. Well, I do think that there are aspects of this movie that are definitely better than some of its predecessors. Uberta is probably the worst she's been in a while.
Yeah.
Come on, take off the other glove.
Yeah, I've got to say, so far this movie is just really uninteresting.
It's one of those things
there
where...
we go.
There you go. 2 mechanical fingers, confirmed.
Dun, dun, dun. But anyway, yeah, no, it's one of those things where, see, here's the thing. This movie is definitely better than the previous two, like Jova said. Unfortunately, it has its own unique set of problems that I have. First of all, we still have a lack of focus on the actual Swan Princess that the movie is supposedly named after, you know?
That is, yeah, that is definitely a recurring problem. For as much problems as 5 had, and trust me, we had a field day with that one, at the very least, Odette was at least still something at the center, and what are you doing back here?
Yeah, number 9 is just number 9 is just here for some reason. Also, Jesus is the king of this kingdom for whatever reason. Like,
Jesus, you look a little
Why not?
old.
my
He's just
son,
waiting for Passion of the Christ 2 to come out.
my son, I am not touching it on with a pole.
Next caller.
Best caller. But yeah, like I was saying, yeah, it's
Number 9 looks very different now.
He actually looks like he has proper cat textures instead of how he looked in Swan Princess 4.
Someone got a budget upgrade. But the identity crisis, like me and Jova were saying, is still a problem. And like I said, I cannot stand Uberta in this movie.
Yeah,
No,
And not to mention-
she's the worst character, but carry on.
definitely.
Not to
It gets
mention-
worse in every movie.
One thing that I will mention as well, that line that I wrote this line here.
I love how even Dereck has a bit of a hard time buying that.
I know, right? I love the joke that Steve made during this. I'm actually quite impressed. She's been a widow all my life. I figured that was for a reason. Yeah, you guys need to watch the Detective Steve reviews of these movies. They're great.
Yeah, I've seen his last Airbender review, and it was pretty good. I should really get around to seeing some of his others.
Oh no, Detective Steve is probably the most underrated YouTuber when it comes to movie reviews out there right now, if you ask me. But anyway, what I was saying was, it's Uberta, and of course, I want to mention something that Roger said earlier. Remember that line that Roger said? Oh, you mean we'll be like spies? Not like spies. Spies. Again, Steve come up with a better wording.
No. He's not about
this?
to.
How about this? Not like, my dear. We will be spies. See, that's better wording, Rich. And Brian. Yes, he's gonna disguise himself as Uberta.
Oh my God! He even made the face mask. So what you're saying is that?
Stop that!
Jesus Christ.
So what you're saying is that Lord Rogers was the precursor for the face mask technology in Mission Impossible.
Also,
turns out that this is actually in canon with the Mission Impossible series.
I think
I bet Paramount are really glad they don't run this.
Also, I'm pretty sure that guy, the first guy who was in the background that talk about the kingdom where he came from, was a reference to the song in the first movie about the parade where they talk about different kingdoms.
Yeah, again, like I said before at the beginning of the commentary, I will give credit that unlike the previous movie, again, saying it's better than Swan Princess 6 should by no means be considered praise, but I'll say it anyway. This movie, at the very least, has a focused single storyline, which is more than we can say for the previous one. I know that's congratulations. I know that's not something that you should praise, but yeah, we've gotten to the point where we have to praise the fact that the movie only has one storyline that it focuses on.
Also, I guess this one isn't going to be a musical because we only got the one song.
Thank God.
Yeah, that's the thing about this. No, okay, here's the thing. Like I've said to Teo and Dej, whether you like musicals or not, one thing you have to understand that this franchise, right from the very first movie, was a musical franchise. It's always been, again, it's for the same reason that the Tangled series retained
What?
What?
No! Did that
That's some serious dark technology you have
What
there.
the hell?
When did I not get in here?
Wait a minute. Hold on. This just raises an important question.
Yes.
If Rogers had this technology, why did he need to go through that disguise of the Queen if he could have just done something like that?
Because that was only for the clothes, not for the face.
All the same, though. How even?
Oh, I like this one.
Sorta.
Sorta. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have. Rogers has yet to invent technology that cures stupidity. Go on.
He's not a miracle worker.
I don't recall Lord Rogers actually mentioning a bow tie that can literally. Is that magic? Is that technology?
He did mention the different types of bow tie while he was describing it, so there might have been that and we were talking over it.
Why did her angry eyebrows look like they were just penciled on afterwards? Like with a mom, not even penciled, like they took a Sharpie and just...
Yeah, that is true. That being said, too, even if Lord Rogers explained in that scene that that's what the boat does, it still doesn't change the fact that it's so horribly out of place.
Sure.
Okay, not only that, but is that magic? Is that technology? Like you mentioned, that's straight up Stark technology. Like, how even? Like, okay, at the very least, most of the stuff we could say is mechanical and whatnot. But literally changing an appearance in a flash like that's.
Also, let's see what the king has to say about this.
Is that Steve Blum?
I think so.
They got Steve Blum here. Wow.
I mean, Steve Blum, Joe, I will do literally anything for a piece of toast.
Well, true. I mean, Steve
yeah,
Blum...
Pedro and I saw The Lion Guard.
I mean,
yes.
Wait, Steve Blum was in that?
Yes.
Are you even surprised, Jova?
Look, guys. Steve Blum literally holds the Guinness Book of World Records for most voiced roles ever. So, no, I'm not surprised.
Maybe that's exactly why Jova got to keep that record intact.
I guess.
I mean, I guess to retune Army every week still doesn't pay enough.
Not just that, like I said, the reason he accepts everything that gets pitched to him was, again, gotta keep that record intact. So,
Yeah, I guess.
but yeah, yeah, and yeah, remember Lucas's so-called prince, not a prince dilemma? Yeah, they, like Jova said, they put that on the back burner, didn't they?
So let me guess. What essentially happened is that the king and company are lying on Antonio's behalf.
Well,
That
let's see
or
how
they
things go.
don't know.
Okay, time to address another thing from these newer movies that I have yet to cover. For as much as, yeah, it's about that Richard and Brian are trying to shove Elise as the new protagonist of this franchise. Here's the problem. For as uninteresting and bland as Odette is, Elise is surprisingly even more uninteresting. Because she's literally nothing but just a spunky little girl that is whatever the plot needs her to be at any given moment.
I mean, look, I know that she had a character arc in the 5th one that's done now, but it's not like they couldn't do something interesting with her character.
So what you're saying, so what you're saying, Jove, is, what else is there?
Oh God, they literally kill cats.
Oh.
Huh.
Wait, was that the thing with killed cats? I thought it was just fish.
Oh, you'd be surprised. In the Dark Ages, they killed cats thinking that they were the things causing the bubonic plague.
Much to Steroid's displeasure.
No, I get that. It's just that, like, did we actually see the corpses of the
We
cats?
literally
on screen?
saw their tails being hung along a sign
right.
showing that.
This is my villain origin story.
Oh, okay.
No, actually, no. He knows writing is my villain origin story.
And let me guess, Shiro, you're going to become Catwoman in Revenge. Wait a minute.
She's gonna be
And I'll
played
look
by...
like a better cat than anything in the Cats movie.
No. She's gonna be played by Halle Berry.
You know what? I could see Halle Berry playing a good Shiroi.
That's
Whatever.
Shiroi Daddy Exia stopped working, I see.
Hey, come on, I'm walking here.
So, I guess we are in Italy.
Seriously, very classy movie. Very, very classy.
Spies!
Not to mention, considering we're trying to make it this a Bond spoof, wouldn't it make more sense for them to be British?
Yeah, Bond had villains from all different
I get the idea. Well, to be fair, help me out, Dweebs. Was it number 2 or number 3 played by Adolfo Celi?
Which sorry?
The villain of Thunderball. Adolfo Celi, the one with the eye patch.
Yes.
Sorry, Dweebs. I asked the question. Was he number 2 or number 3?
Number 2.
Okay.
And yeah, Elise and Lucas kind of suck at this whole spy thing.
Well,
But
to be
basically,
fair,
yeah,
they're
Trova, he
cute.
was Italian,
G-Rod.
so it might be that too.
G. Rogers, maybe sending 2 kids on this dangerous mission wasn't such a good idea after all, was it?
It builds character. It's a quote, a famous line from Ed, and Eddie. A little false childhood builds character.
Did we even have a plan?
No.
Pedro,
What?
heroes don't need plans.
Oh, of course. How did I forget that?
You're a dick.
So the idea is that the king was being fooled, but he's in on the scheme.
Yep.
Cute. Oh. That's the sword of the old king, I guess.
Yeah, that's another thing, by the way. I guess I was waiting for the movie to bring it up before I mentioned this. Yeah, for whatever reason, there's also this subplot where, for whatever reason, Count
Count
Niccolo.
Antonio.
No. I'm wondering if Niccolo is a count too, but whatever. Niccolo, for whatever reason, has King William's sword. Where and when did he get that?
If I
You see,
recall
that's a very
correctly,
interesting question, and my answer is shut up, don't
Okay.
I
worry.
don't think Dereck recovered anything else after he not rescued, but he went through the remain of the carriage.
I think-
So I can imagine it was looted.
Probably. My guess is like, well, Dereck probably got that sword from the scene of the crime when, the father was killed, essentially. And so they had it probably locked down under there because Odette didn't really have any use for it now, did she?
Okay,
so.
okay. I have another dumb question.
What?
Yes, Dej.
What happened to Odette's kingdom?
I've
Yeah,
already
Jono was
been
just asking
asking
that too. That's the thing, Deji. This franchise has officially gave up on even mentioning that there were two kingdoms to begin with. Odette's kingdom basically disappeared. It's like Timber in Final
Well-
Fantasy VIII. It stopped existing.
That's
basically.
the thing. Has it really, though? Because they still mention the fact that Odette, had a father who was a king, so... I mean...
Well, Jova beats the hell out of me then.
maybe...
But anyway.
Maybe the kingdoms merged or something, but... Has that been established to have been a thing yet?
Nope, it has not.
Dio?
Sorry?
Remind me.
Taylor was asking if it was ever established in any of the movies that they merged the two kingdoms at some point.
That was the ideal plan when Odette and Dereck would have married.
Oh, I know that
Yeah,
was the plan, but I wonder if they ever actually
I
put
actually
that
don't know if
plan
that
into
changed
motion.
or not.
Especially
Because
because
if that
Jova,
is the
remember...
case, then I guess that would explain things, but otherwise...
That's the thing, Jova. The first movie clearly established that the two kingdoms are a ways apart. Remember, because they have to go from all the way from a carriage, all the way from one kingdom to another. So it's not that the two kingdoms are right next to each other. They're not. There is an actual travel distance between them. So how would that even work necessarily? But back to the sword debacle. Okay, even so, like, what a weird subplot to include of all
Don't you see,
things.
Pedro? This makes it personal.
What do you mean, personal?
I guess,
Yeah.
but
I don't want to cause
hold on.
Sheree
Oh.
any more pain than need
this
be.
bit here.
Sure.
Okay,
Oh.
okay, Elise. Not for nothing, Elise, but right now we have bigger priorities than just a stupid sword that means nothing, and yet your mom has already forgotten about by this point.
Okay.
Is it really important to get that sword back at this
Yes,
point?
it's about pride.
Okay, here's an idea. First expose Antonio, and then you can get the sword back when he and Niccolo are, well, caught.
But Steve, that's right. You don't prioritize like sane people. Yeah, basically.
Also, considering what we know, the fact that Antonio was the guy at the beginning that he scaled down the dam, I wonder if he disappeared only to reappear on top of the archway was supposed to be foreshadowing for the fact that he had the grappling hook.
And that apparently he's very agile. I guess.
Also,
I mean, okay, that I would maybe give the movie a point for that if everything else wasn't so stupid.
Yeah. Again, that's the primary problem with this movie. This movie is better in the sense that it's better than 5 and 6. Here's the problem. Being better than 5 and 6.
Swan Princess movie.
Not just that, Edge. Being better than Swan 5 and Swan 6 is by no means something worth bragging about at all.
Well, I will say that so far, despite its problem, I like it also more than movie 4.
I guess it does depend. Okay, I can definitely get liking it better than movie 4. I'm not sure if I'd call it better than movie 4 because it does have a lot of those. Don't worry, 9 lives. Although
Cartoon logic, yes.
I have to side with Job on this one too, because for as bad as Swan 4 was, it was at the very least focused on our supposed main characters at least.
Pretty much, yeah. This one unfortunately commits to a lot of the problems that Swan 6 brought about.
Yeah, the identity crisis. I mean, Swan 4 was terrible, don't get me wrong, but it didn't have an identity crisis.
That was
lame.
Easy.
Yep.
That was a very poor raspberry. Also, why did they add a giant painting on number 9?
Surprise!
Because
You're not gonna rat out Niccolo for what he did to you?
Wait for it.
I guess we need evidence.
True.
Niccolo is a criminal and a traitor. Please arrest him.
Okay, to their credit, I get they're trying to play coy here because...
Oh, it's
What?
a marquee, so there you go, Pedro.
Again, you don't prioritize like sane people. Don't you think exposing Niccolo is more important than the goddamn
Okay.
It's
sword?
not about exposition. It's about the sword.
Okay, Pedro, let's think here. What reason would the
Debate.
king have to believe them? I mean, don't get me wrong. We
I
know...
love his gesture. He's like, oh, come
Okay.
on. Sorry, Carl.
To Elisa's credit
on.
here, what reason would the king have to believe them if they just outright said that, oh, Niccolo's a traitor, essentially? Like, as far as the king knows, Niccolo's his most trusted advisor, and a bunch of kids just saying he's a traitor would not exactly be enough evidence. They don't exactly have the evidence on hand
on.
here and there.
This way here.
Uh-huh.
So this is their way of doing it. Again,
Yeah.
they should have said this before the sword thing.
I mean,
I also
hold on,
prefer
hold on,
these
hold on.
over the cliche of, oh, this is the truth. We don't believe you.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess.
And honestly, it's best that they're doing both anyway. I mean, honestly, okay, now look, I'd give you the point if they didn't do that other bit at all, but they did do both, so I'm fine with it.
Oh, let me get. Oh, I was
There you
expecting
go.
a throwing shot.
It's like... Yeah.
Again, this movie does have problems. I wouldn't say that that's one of them because, again, just shouting he's a traitor would actually be a dumb thing to do because, well, they don't have evidence. This way, they've maneuvered it so that the king will find out about it, while also getting
Also-
the
Anything of
sword back.
imports.
Also, you made such a point about the sword, Elisa, but you have Lucas being the one that carries it.
So have I missed anything important?
Nope.
Basically,
really.
Lord Rogers is now disguised as Uberta.
Yeah, this is actually Lord Rogers. And believe it or not, the movie's about to make a really weird wood joke that I just don't understand. Why would you even have this? But go on. Just watch.
Honestly, Lord Rogers is able to do a pretty good Uberta impression.
Hold on.
Yeah, he's just making sure the.
Oh, here.
Oh!
Whoa,
Whoa, God!
Jesus
What
Christ.
the? What?
Where
Where
the hell
did
did that come
What?
from?
He doesn't look like any of
Yeah,
the Greek gods, honestly.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Rogers
Yeah.
went about this the wrong way, but damn you, Berta. Jesus.
Looked like she was set to kill him.
Stab him with the keys.
Sorry, we're not gonna make it. Let's speed up.
Okay,
Yeah.
so can I
Wait,
ask?
when did it become dark? It was just like evening. Like, what the?
They've been
What
running
do you
around
know-
in the
what-
sewers for a long time, Shiroi.
But it was a. This should
What
have
do
been
you-
some kind of
sure.
transition. Like
Shiroi, what do you know? Haven't you heard of suspension of disbelief?
it's called
But anyway-
using your imagination, and it does not apply here.
But anyway,
Oh, watch
damn,
this.
Richard.
They're actually going to reflect the light from the sword up onto the mirror that Puffin is wearing so that they can get it over to Lord Rogers. Okay, I know that moonbeams can be powerful, but that powerful?
This is not a Zelda game. You can't reflect light that way. That's not how it works.
From that far away, too?
Yeah, it's
On that tiny
Also-
little mirror? Like hell.
Also,
and you can
Richard.
see that.
How is any of this working?
Okay,
Major?
this is the point where they stop giving a shit.
Okay.
Yup.
Okay.
No. They stopped at they stopped giving a crap after the second one.
No. They
I
stopped
was
giving
talking
her crap
about the
at
point
five.
in this movie.
Okay.
That being said, look, I still hold that this is better than 5 and 6, but I do think that this movie is the most bonkers with how technology and physics supposedly works.
Yeah, you see, it's a kids movie, so it doesn't matter.
Of course. Also, Richard, what the fuck was that? Leprosy? What the
Where
fuck,
did that even
Richard?
come from?
Seriously, what the fuck?
I mean, I get
Brian read this as well.
I get it's a condition and all, but dang.
It's the way the joke is done. Like it's like they literally make a joke out of leprosy and they use it in such a tasteless way. Like seriously, imagine if you had some case where a friend of yours had leprosy. Like that would be so offensive.
Oh my god. Oh snap! They've been robbed.
Oh look, guys! Hey guys, we're still in the movie, by the way.
Oh my god! And they're actually about to play a part in it. It seems.
Yeah, with 18 minutes to spare.
Again, still way more than the previous one. I'm impressed.
I know, right?
Let me put it this way. Up until this point, yes, technically Odette and Dereck were on screen, but they weren't doing anything. So they might as well not even be, you know? But now, fortunately, at the very least, now we're actually going to get something that's even tangentially, remotely close to a role, but a little too late at this point, if you ask me.
Hey!
Of course.
Oh, and here's another point towards Swan 4, Teo. Swan 4 didn't have offensive stereotypes. Well, did it? I'll have to watch it again because
I forgot, to be honest, but I'm propelling to think that he did not. Yeah.
That being said, though,
So okay, to me, it's not necessarily the stereotyping itself is offensive, but the idea that it's the first major foreigner that they have, and it's the bad guy. You know, it's it's kind of like in Dust and Asian Tale, where everybody has like an Australian or British accent, but the only one with an actual other different accent is Italian. It's basically a douchebag of a town who basically uses children to do his work.
What?
Yeah.
caught him with a
Basically.
net.
I still haven't played that game yet. I'm like, oh. Huh.
No, well, to be fair, it's the point of the game is that you have to basically put him in his place.
Oh no! It turns out Bruno was in on it too.
I mean,
Why
are you surprised?
I'm sorry. Why are we treating this like it's a big shock to the kids? Like, shouldn't the kids have deduced that, you know, the guy who was...
He has been so nice until this point.
was literally
Just that.
Antonio's chauffeur. They didn't even suspect him at all?
I want to mention something about what Bruno just said, by the way. They literally asked him, look, you don't know, you know what Niccolo is after. I assure you, I do. Then how can you do this? And then Bruno answers, because sometimes there are things that you do that can never be undone.
For a moment, I thought he was going to hang the king.
Yep. Anyway, and then Bruno answers, because sometimes there are things that one does that can never be changed. That answers exactly nothing. You literally avoid.
Like, were they implying something like his loyalty to Bruno his loyalty to Antonio is because of something that happened in the past?
I wonder.
It's a bit Teo. They never tell us. And believe it or not, Teo, that's the last we see after this.
Yeah, I can imagine these are actually one-shot villains.
And guess what, Teo? This is Bruno's last scene, and we'll never get any closure on why exactly he did that.
Brilliant.
Maybe it's sequel hook, right?
No, it's not. Sorry. It would be like if I punched Dibs in the face, and he was like, Ed, why did you do that? And I'm like, because we have sometimes things happen that can never be changed. Yeah, that answers nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And do you know what else can't be? Yes, exactly. And do you know what else can't be changed now? Me talking to you. Fuck you.
Exactly.
It's like me not talking to you. Eternity.
Space.
Jesus Christ.
So there you go. Uberta now has realized that Antonio was fooling her all along. So now she's gonna go straight to the kingdom and take revenge.
I'll admit that jump cut to her literally on the edge of a ship with a sword hanging out was.
Isn't this going? Could this end up causing a all-out war between two kingdoms? Is that what the next film's about?
Okay,
No. You see, Dwibs, it turns out it's a coup that's going on. So
yeah,
if anything, this will
Antonio's
actually
faction is like a splinter, so yeah.
So if anything, this will actually end up helping out the situation.
What's the next film called? Royal Mystery.
Mystery? But anyway.
Honestly, wouldn't this... Well, okay. I guess to be fair, there was spy stuff, though. This one could have also technically been called Royal... Well, okay, you know what? To be fair, they didn't treat it like too much of a mystery. So...
No. Let me put it this way. This is like the Bond-style movie, whereas the next one is kind of like a mystery detective type of thing, basically.
Also, number 9 needed motivation to actually cut the rota. Okay.
How about this, Jova? It's a mystery in the same way that a Sherlock Holmes story is a mystery. Like there's some kind of big... Yeah. But anyway, you know what, Jova?
What?
I was much like you. I was also down for the Uberta Rogers ship, but after this movie, no more. Uberta doesn't deserve Rogers at this point.
No,
as far as I'm concerned,
she really doesn't.
Considering the behavior of both, none of them deserve the other.
Okay. Honestly, Rogers has had his problems, yes, but I'd still say that at his worst, it's mainly just foot and mouth scenarios here. Uberta. No, like Dead said, Uberta just got worse with each movie.
Yeah.
Mouth also being the right term, Java, considering all that spitting in movie 5.
Let me put it like this. Lord Rogers still has redeeming qualities. Uberta has some brownie points to earn, as Shiroi would have put it.
Yeah.
So are we gonna, ram into it? No?
Okay.
Okay, Jova.
Yes?
Remind me again.
Saigon.
For as awesome as the soundtrack in Quest for Camelot was, didn't we also have a problem during a certain action sequence that for whatever reason thought it was a good idea to play Celine Dion over it?
I mean, I personally got why they did it, but yes, I do know what you're talking about. Why? Are they going to have a song here?
Let's just say we're about to get a new song, and its placement is
Wait, are we about to get a villain song?
I bow to your superior spy skills. Driving a submarine has nothing to do with being a spy, Lucas.
Yeah, I mean,
period though.
I mean, for all the mocking I did of Bond being a shitty spy, at the very least, his underwater thing was being disguised as a crocodile.
Also, Shiroi, wow, how's that for a cat pun?
You know what, Jova? You have no idea what you just said.
That's what the movie said, Shiroi.
That's the thing,
okay,
Shiroi.
I didn't hear the movie said it, but Tio clearly got it. You have no idea what the fuck you just said.
Also, the way they were animating that, it looked like number 9 was shitting gold. Like
again. That's the thing. Shiroi.
Is that what the lucky cat does? Shit gold.
Yes.
Yes, Jova.
That's the thing. Like Tia said, the movie just said it. That's why I mentioned it to you.
I didn't hear it.
Well,
I didn't hear you say it though, but I believe you.
I mean, at least it's better than in that bit in Digimon where the snails throw their shit at you.
Yeah. How about this? Here's my new fairy tale that I'm writing. Usually it's the giant with the chicken that lays the golden eggs, right? My new version of that fairy tale is giant Shiroi and the cat that shits golden coins.
Why did they boarded the place like that?
Because
reasons.
Don't murder the rat, please. Oh, see, he didn't need the crowbar.
What?
This is our routine now.
Oh
Oh my god.
It really is one of those cases where congrats, you're better than 5 and 6. What am I supposed to be
It's
impressed?
stupid.
Yep. Oh yeah, this is it, Jova. This is it.
Oh,
Oh,
Hold on. Okay, so now we're playing this sad ballad, and let's check what the visuals are in a moment to accompany
because it's a
this.
dramatic moment where Lucas is trapped on Antonio's
Slow
ship.
motion. What the?
Let me guess, it has torpedoes or something. Oh, cannons, okay.
I guess that's a way that one man can man a ship. Okay. You will
doesn't-
find your way, I do hope. May you find your way weaving through the cannon fire.
Oh, how do you get here?
oh.
They were sailing after him, remember? Because the
Sorry,
Uberta wanted
my
revenge.
bad.
That's it. I am done being a no-show. For this, I will actually do something in my own franchise. Hey, Uberta.
Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned.
Yeah, sorry, Richard. It's a bit too little,
Ooh,
too little, too
pink
late at this
flap.
point.
What? No shit.
Yeah.
And you know, Pedro, again, the fact that the movie, it's not even just ourselves. The movies themselves kind of keep making a point of lampshading Derek's, stupidity.
Yeah.
Also, this sword fight was so poorly
Wait,
choreographed.
Wait, why are we playing the song now?
Slow still.
It's symbolic, don't you
that's-
see?
That's right, Jova. As we're having Dereck escape from evil dogs, we're playing this song, and it's just so unfitting.
Oh, okay, look. I could get why they did it in Quest for Camelot, essentially, but here, it just does not fit at all. What the?
Do a flip, sick flip, bro.
Yeah, sick flip.
Man, I
this
love
is
Sea of
going
Thieves.
on.
What the fuck is you? Yeah, these sword fights are just so poorly choreographed. You fucked up my face.
You know,
Seriously, this is almost identical to that moment at the end of Hunt Down the Freeman.
Dereck, don't. Didn't you learn anything from movie 3? What am I talking about? You never learn anything. Like,
No.
Fucking savage.
What's his main character's name? What's that evil villain's name again?
Antonio.
Antonia.
Wrong, Antonia. This is not a Swan princess.
Wait,
this is
how?
the Swan thingy. Fuck. Oh god, the water again.
So they don't give us
A
like
boat. I'm on a tiny boat. You're on a big one. There's
Don't
no way you
tell.
can catch up to me.
Don't worry, Tail. Believe it or not, Tail, they are going to tell us what happens to Antonio, and you're not gonna like it.
goody.
Is he put into a loop of thinking?
We'll
"Don't
see
you want
that
me, baby?"
later, Dreams, don't worry.
Does he get sent to Brazil?
No, he gets, he
No, I
gets
don't want to go to Brazil. No.
The Bermuda Triangle, isn't it?
topical. But anyway, no, he gets sent to a far worse place than that.
We'll see what happens. Oh, they had an
What the
air
hell?
balloon. Oh, wait, no, no, no.
With the
London?
Even worse. So there you go. The king found Niccolo out.
Oh, so the king kind of knew all along.
You know
but
what this
just
means?
needed evidence.
Hey, Dwebs, you know what this means?
Nothing.
After all this kerfuffle, the king is the best spy in this whole movie.
He
Yeah,
really fooled
it
everyone,
kind of
including the
is.
viewer. And you know what? You know what they say, Dweebs? It's good to be the king.
So basically, this guy should replace Daniel Craig as James Bond.
Sure.
Oh
here,
my god, she actually apologized.
I agree. Excuse me, no, we have to talk about it, like the fact that you were fucking.
Okay.
Do.
So, oh yeah, I forgot Lucas's character arc. I forgot about that.
He has one.
Yes!
Oh my god,
Oh my
what?
god. Oh my god, they're actually doing it.
Nah.
I mean, don't get
We'll
me
see,
wrong.
Jova, we'll see.
It kind of leaves a bad taste in the mouth after everything they went through, but I guess the shippers gotta
Again,
win.
judging from Pedro's tone, that's not what's gonna happen. We'll see.
See, now we're calling back to the beginning of the movie. This time he's actually comfortable with coming here, and guess what? They're even gonna throw a party at the fact that he's a prince now.
Sure.
I love Odette's line now, and Dereck's as well.
Oh, it's a reprise. That sounded better in the head of the writer.
Don't you mean he's a spy?
Yeah, you see what I mean? This whole prince thing for Lucas is such a weirdly. Oh, here you go.
Oh my god, he
he's
ended up on the
island
island.
of the gods.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what?
Is
That's
this where all the bad guys are gonna end up?
okay.
Part of me kind of likes this. Oh, no.
Kitchen.
Oh no!
You
Why?
ruined it.
No, it's actually over.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what? I'll give him credit. That's actually kind of clever for a bout of continuity, and
I didn't
is
hate
pretty
that
much-
either. Honestly,
It is pretty much a way for him to just come up and say, you know what? Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm definitely gonna say this is better than 5 and 6.
Again.
There you go,
Sorry,
Teo. That's what happens to Antonio, Teo. He gets
Again,
eaten by the bugs.
Again, part of me kind of like this. Again, my major problem is just really for the fact that it's literally the first major foreigner accent that you have, and you choose to do it. But again, I can elaborate in my final thoughts. For the time being, dibs, I guess.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's better than the previous movie on account that, unlike the previous movie, this one decides to forego being annoying in favor of having like no reaction.
Okay. So it turns out we were mistaken. Nicolo and Number 9 were actually played by David Lodge.
Yeah, David Lodge, but no, it was Kirk Thornton. We mentioned for Antonio instead.
No, I'm talking about how we mistakenly thought Nicole was voiced by Steve Blum. Actually, it turns out...
No, I think Steve Blum was one of the minor, henchmen with no names.
Alright, so continuing on. Yeah, this film was just completely uninteresting. Like, there's nothing really extremely wrong with it other than the water animation. But there's really nothing going for it. I mean, yeah, great job. You focus on one plot. The main problem is boring. That's not really that much of an upgrade from the previous movie. Yeah, gee, you go from being aggravating to dull. That's like saying, oh wow, sleeping on a hard wooden floor is better than sleeping on a bed of nails. Woo. Great, what an upgrade. Now, could I please have a mattress next time? Yeah, that's about it. Everything else is almost pretty much like the last few movies. The animation is pretty poor, even by these films' standards. The characters are boring. The music's just kind of there. And again, such a waste of good voice talent. Oh, by the way, speaking of voice talent, I believe this is the last time we're going to hear Laura Bailey as.
Yes, this is the movie where Laura Bailey officially decided, you know what, I've had enough.
I'll be in The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, at least The Last of Us Part 2 is interesting to talk about.
Well, to be fair, 2017. This was years. At this point, that game was
Like
3
3
years
years.
away.
I'm gonna be in
Well, to
Uncharted
be fair,
Lost
given
Legacy.
how long it may have been in development, who knows? The whole...
Plus, I mean 2017 didn't Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Lost Legacy. Yeah, Lost
Also,
Legacy.
she did reprise the role of a Cloud of Darkness for the CDNT.
That too, yeah.
Yeah, so there's all that at least. So yeah, but yeah, this movie, Swan Princess, Royally Undercover. It was a movie, which is a kind. This is more kind words than I can say about the previous movie, but not by much.
Okay,
Alright.
sure.
I feel like I would prefer going back to the Nothing movies, actually. It's nice having something to talk about, but this movie was just,
Painful.
just not, yeah, especially with the Queen. Jesus.
I thought you were about
She
to
was horrible.
Oh,
What?
Yeah.
I thought you were about to say, especially with the cat pun, me wow.
Again. Anyway, pain. Listen, she was just, honestly, she was probably worse than our supposed villains in this movie. Like, she's
Yeah.
just, and then they tried to make it all sweet at the end. It's like, no, you don't get that movie
No,
at all.
you do not.
They're trying to play
No.
to the shippers' feelings after they toyed with them throughout the movie. How cute.
But this is like a terrible way to do it. It's
Yeah.
Yep.
the music is very unfitting a lot of the time. The animation is still like a weird mix of absolute garbage and the occasional decent looking thing. I don't know what else to say. I feel like my thoughts on all these movies are going to be the same for the most part. I guess, again, the only standout thing here is that a character we're supposed to, like, is reprehensible in this movie.
Which
And
one?
yeah, that's
I think she
What's
means
her-
Uberta.
there we go. That's yeah, and our protagonists were there but left. All right. Anyway, there we go. I'm done.
I'll go next. Okay. This movie is a weird case. By the standards of Swan Princess movies at this point, it is very fun to riff on. Like, there is a ton of stuff to make fun of. That said, credit where credit is due, it does feel like they are legit trying to improve the franchise overall here and there. Like, trying to. They still have that stupid problem where for some reason they're focusing less on the main characters of the franchise. That said, the plot actually does feel more clever. I don't mean that in like this is an amazing thing, but they've brought it up to the standards of, oh, okay, you are mildly competent at best, and still a blithering idiot at worst. The opening actually does tie in with the plot better. And the songs, again, they're fine, actually. There's actually nothing wrong with the songs. Except for the fact that Odette's weird song plays over all the action. And I'm like, why? Shouldn't we have some high-gripping, high-stakes music playing during this bit here? Again, in Quest for Camelot, it made sense because that wasn't the climax, per se. That was the precursor to the big adventure, so I could get the whole prayer being sung while she's racing off to safety. Here, though, this is the big climax, near the end of the movie. This is like if you had Can You Feel the Love Tonight playing during the final battle in Lion King. It just would not work. Or would it? No, it wouldn't. Ah, God. I guess to give this movie credit, it does actually use its continuity relatively wisely, especially with the payoff to Antonio's comeuppance. So, yeah, there's that. That being said, though, let's talk about the worst aspect of this movie, Uberta. Holy cow, if somebody was trying to win a Worst Person in the World award, Uberta would have won that 3 times over by this movie alone. Like,
To be fair, Jova, I will argue she already won that award with that terrible stunt she pulled in movie 5, to be honest with you.
okay, at least the movie was playing that off as a gag, and that was like one bit. Oh, don't get me wrong, it was still terrible. But in this movie, this is like if you had Uberta at her worst throughout the entire movie. But it's okay because she and Rogers are apparently gonna get married. You know,
Hope so.
it's just
See, for me, it's one of those things where, yes, they played it off as a joke, Jova, but that's my problem with it. This is not a joking matter at all. That's the thing. Like, imagine if I killed somebody and I try to write it off as a joke. Like, that's not.
Well, I guess the Joker would laugh at that.
Yeah, that's.
That said, the keyword being that it's somebody messed up in the head like the Joker.
Yeah, it's just that I cannot stand Uberta at this point. Like,
Oh, no, trust me. I'm right there with you. Like, well, for as much things as I do think improved, Uberta, it feels like for everything that improved, Uberta got worse. Like, not multiple elements, mainly just Uberta got worse and worse. But it's okay because she has this totally cool scene where she vows revenge because she was tricked. You know, despite the fact that she pretty much just ignored Rogers, despite the fact that they've had a budding relationship. Hell, they literally declared their love for each other in the 5th film.
Yeah, that's my main. It's insulting to your characters. Like, seriously, Richard has no respect for his characters, and that's the worst thing to me. Like, it's just like, you have no respect for the characters you've created, do you?
And you know what? I can see why this would have been the movie that got the fan base to really get angry. Because again, while this movie does do better than 6, it still repeats a lot of the core problems of 6, essentially. So while it's overall a better movie, it's more or less continuing the core problem. Like, how to put it like this? Like, okay, let's imagine if per se. God, all right, this is like.
Here's the kicker. It's better than the previous movie, but only marginally.
Let me put it like this. This is like if Final Fantasy 15 pretty much repeated all the core problems of 13 while still technically having a better narrative. I mean, sure, the story is technically better, but if it still repeats the core problems, that's going to be quite an annoying factor, especially if it's done just with the sense that we can do whatever. And again, I guess the fans must have really gotten angry because according to what you've told us, they apparently relented and actually did make proper improvements come with the 8th movie.
Yes. The feedback from movie 6 and 7 was we want Odette and Dereck as the protagonist again, and that's what and to be fair, that's what they do starting with movie 8.
Please tell me Uberta doesn't somehow get worse though.
No. To be fair, not really. I guess.
So she's around the same level of quality as this one, then.
Either or it's essentially she'll be fine now, and this is just the worst it can get for her, hopefully.
Yeah, it's like don't get me wrong, Elise and Lucas will still have their role, and let's just say I have a lot of questionable things to say about the way they handle her character in movie 9, but we'll get to that.
Let me put it like this with Elise. She was a borderline Mary Sue in the 6th film. And here, while she's not a Mary Sue, she's incredibly bland in this one.
Yeah. Well, Jova, like mother, like daughter, I guess.
Yeah, so you're gonna get angry at me. I was struggling this whole time to figure out what her name was.
Who,
and
Elise?
Every time you kept saying Elise, I'm like, from Sonic 06?
I know, but honestly, it sounds so like that you would have to see how the names are spelled to know that it's actually with an A instead of an E.
It's Elise, not Elise, Elise with an A.
Let's be honest, they sound similar enough that the joke is easy to apply.
Such a weird name too. Why not just say Elise? That's much more common and easy to say.
Let's see. I mean, again, it's nice to see some returning characters. Number 9 had a fine enough role here and there. And, this movie, see, movies like these are frustrating because they show that a franchise could actually be legit good if they tried in all the categories. Like, it does feel like they were trying, but also they weren't trying at the same time. Like, they were trying in some areas, but in other cases they were just doubling down on what they thought the fans wanted instead of, actually cueing the fans on what they might want.
So what you're saying, this was a half-hearted effort, it feels like.
Kinda. Alright, I'm done. Next.
That's
Well, it took one step forward as it actually focused on the plot this time. 2 steps back with its gimmick, because this movie is supposed to take place in the Middle Ages, and then you have all this weird spy technology.
Yeah, seriously, Tio, what is Rogers doing with Stark technology in this?
It got 100,000 pounds later on its back with Uberta.
I got 100,000 pounds standing
on my back.
Yes, I was thinking about this since we started Final Thoughts.
Oh yeah.
You know what they say, that you wish for Italians to be real, but night's not a dream, it's a fucking nightmare.
It's okay, I have Tifa.
True, yeah. Tifa will do very well at the Italian Senate.
No, in my mind, Italy is just Porto Rosso. That's it. There's nothing else beyond that. It's just this nice little region where there's nothing bad happening aside from maybe potentially some prejudice here and there, but we dealt with that.
Aha.
I mean, it's better than the last one, but it still has it's still a Swan Princess movie, so there's still the balance of stupidity surrounding it.
Yeah. Stupidity and Swan Princess go hand in hand, and from the very first movie. For the first movie itself is also really stupid. Like it's just not as blatantly stupid as these later movies.
Yeah, I don't. Again, the spy gimmick is just. What's with this advanced technology? Why is there a submarine?
It's simple, Dej. This franchise is suffering from way too many sequel syndrome, to the point where the filmmakers at this point don't know what the fuck to do anymore, so they just do whatever.
You see, if it was like Dave the Barbarian, where that's the joke,
yeah,
it wouldn't bother me.
Guys, I'm just gonna say this. If Ward Rogers had shared all this technology, Odette's father may have still been alive. Cause this stuff could have shot down the villain easily. I'm pretty sure Rogers probably has a machine gun artillery set down there at this point.
That's the thing, Jova. In the original trilogy, all Rogers was Dereck's councilman. That's it. He was...
Okay, that reminds me. Speaking of Dereck, what happened to his best friend?
Yeah, where's Bromley in this movie?
Yeah.
That's the thing, Teo. Starting with after movie 4, Bromley just stops existing in Richard's mind.
He was in movie 5.
Wasn't he in movie 5
was he?
still?
He was on one of the capture ones. Sure, he did not do that much, but he was there.
Well, I can tell you that...
Instead, they pushed this stupid chef character, but I don't understand why he's there.
And after that, honestly, after like the first 7 minutes, the chef character goes to the background too. So.
Yeah, they try to have this arc about the spies, but that's, I guess, because they try to make you think, oh, Antonio is not really that much of a bad guy. He is that helpful anyway, but, you know. Ugh.
Again, obvious plot schemes is obvious. Go on.
I am thankful that I didn't break down compared to the other times we've been watching these movies. I'm just
honestly, okay. I'm not surprised. Like, look, this movie has its problems, but it's nowhere near the worst. Well, okay, unless you're focusing on Uberta, in which case, yeah, it is the worst.
And like I said before, Jova, it's better than 5 and 6. Whoop-de-freaking-do.
Yeah, that's like being able to hop over a 1-foot mud puddle.
Hey guys, I made a game that's better than Superman 64.
Good. And on a similar wavelength, I managed to swim out of a puddle.
Hey! Look, man, those swimming lessons, you're just taking it one step at a time. So you're making.
Also, Jova, according to this very movie, just noticing the puddle makes you very smart because people could not notice the wall and they damaged them.
True, yeah.
All right. Anything else, Dej?
Can't wait for the next one.
Yes.
At this point, just went to movie 9 where the true shipping begins. Go on, Teo.
All right. I'm definitely conflicted on this one because I definitely had a better time with this one compared to movie 5, 6, and yes, even 4 to an extent. Because some of the dumb stuff that was present in those previous 3 ED is actually toned down. The music stuff is toned down, even if it's still very questionable. And the animation is just a bit better. Again, it's the one thing I mentioned in the previous movie. There are those very teeny tiny improvements, but the problem is that the progression is going at a snail's pace. Jesus, and you still occasionally get the weird shit like the wobbly hair Uberta, or that sequence where masked Roger pretends to have leprosy and they die.
I have no idea.
What the fuck was that all about?
Even beyond the mean-spiritedness that Pedro mentioned, visually it looks. I get maybe it's intentionally made it look to make the viewer nauseated, but it's probably not for the reason they intended.
And honestly, I don't get why. Okay, they made a lot of people's hair look actually pretty good, but why is Uberta's hair persisting with this awful undulating tone?
But okay, the voice acting is also a bit better. Okay, it was okay even in the previous movie, but this one feels also a bit more consistent. I like the fact that they have stuff to do for most of the character this time around, even Odette and Dereck to an extent. Again, compared to the previous movie, the fact that they actually have more lines of dialogue, maybe actually actively do something, even if it's paced, kind of like at the beginning and the end of the movie, it's at least a step forward. That has to count for something. The whole technological displacement, to me, is less impactful, because I get the idea that after movie 4, where they introduce this kind of gimmick, they assume that the viewer is caught up with that and they're just escalating from there, instead why stopping there. And I can imagine the whole Roger being prepared might have been a response after movie 5 to the invasion of the Scullions, The thing is, man, I get the idea, for the sake of the jokes, it tries to do too much at the same time. I get the idea, just a bit more gradual wouldn't be fine, which leads to the villains, or the totally non-villains. It's, again, super conflicted. On one hand, it's the fact that it's the first major foreigner kingdom that we see after movie 1. And it's just, okay, this stereotype thing is the accent. And even that, it's not super heavy, outside of 1 or 2 cases, like with Niccolo. But again, it's that kind of principle. I get the idea it could have been literally anyone else, maybe Germans or something like that. But it's the fact that they choose Neighbor Kingdom, stereotype accent, they're the bad guys, and kind of dickish in nature. It's nice that they pull something similar to Tangled, and in a sense that they're not the entire nation, but just a splinter faction, so fair enough on that. And I kind of like the fate of the villain. Like I mentioned a couple of times, regardless of what they think of the principle of Antonio was a bad guy with no real remorse or redeeming quality, so he deserved to die in some kind of fashion. And coming back to movie 6 is a nice also way to do it, So I'm perfectly okay with that.
And hey, look, now the Bogs can finally get some meat, so everybody wins. Except for Antonio.
And and also Bruno. But, nobody talks about him.
Bruno.
Yeah.
We don't talk about Bruno, no.
So, yeah. Again, I'm super conflicted on this one. It's simultaneously better and worse. Actually, the other guys mentioned, Uberta and Rogers continue to be the worst thing in these movies, which is super sad. At least the animals are still fine, I guess. Can't wait to see them potentially in the future.
I just realized something.
Wow.
Speedy and John Bob kind of disappear in the last step.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, the last major thing that they do. Okay, it's Puffin that helps the kids in the city.
Yeah. Puffin's still around, but John Bob and Speedy kind of disappear after the leprosy bit, I think.
It's also nice that they brought back number 9 and he does more stuff, even though it's a bit wonky, the fact that now he's more willing to work with the good guys, even if partly lampshades the fact that he was a villain.
I suppose, to be fair, it does also get to a point where the evil plan is literally messing with the
Necessity.
good stuff that he's got going with the king, so...
But still, it's also nice. Again, compared to Spirit 3, this series is much better in actually bringing back up continuity stuff. So I'll take it over that. But the problems are the more obnoxious stuff and the absolute dickish characterization of Uberta and Rogers, which sadly take up most of the movie. So again, I really don't know what to think. A part of me wants to like this as the better movie after the original trilogy, but part of me tells me that it still has too many things boggling down. So I don't know what to think. Hopefully, hopefully the next couple of movies will be more, more focused on that.
Not to mention too, it's just like this is still not a Swan Princess movie. Yes, the Odette and Dereck are in it, but they're not the focus. It's just like one of those cases where it's just the identity crisis is still prevalent, and that to me is a sin that just cannot be ignored when it comes to comparing it to the earlier movies.
I will give it credit. It doesn't feel absolutely insulting like movie 6 did with how it just mistreated the characters.
All right.
Congrats, Richard. Congrats.
I mean, again, considering this was done after it, at least it's a step forward. I'll take that. But
take one step forward and
two steps back. Got
100,000 pounds then on my back. Go ahead, Teo. Sorry.
No, I'm pretty much done. So that leaves you, Pedro.
Yes. Okay. This movie is once again better than movie 6, definitely, and probably better than movie 5. But like I said, that's not something that I'm not gonna give it brownie points just for that, because that's just ridiculous. Like I said, hey guys, I made a game that's better than Superman 64. Well, whoop-de freaking do, my dude. Yeah, the plot is well focused, is nonsensical. The overall spy angle is handled in such a naive, overly simplistic manner. Again, as a child writing a spy movie, that's what this feels like. The character stupidity is tremendous, especially coming from Uberta, and it's just, and even Rogers unfortunately gets dragged down with it, even though he's still at the very least. As like Jova said, at the very least, it still has some redeeming quality at the very least. But damn, I miss first 2 movies, Rogers. Remember, Rogers to this day still has the best line in this entire franchise from the first movie in relating to Dereck.
You should write a book, How to Ruin a Person in 4 Words or Less.
No, that's not, it's not that, yo. But remember, that's is beauty all that matters to you? It's like, what else is there? And Rogers, again, best line ever. You should write a book, How to Offend Women in 5 syllables or less.
Ooh.
That's just, I miss classic Rogers. I really do.
Honestly, even in movie 3, while he had that whole love-struck thing with Zelda thing going on, he was still way more classy than he is in these. I mean, I guess he gets to be awesome in that he invents all this stuff and has now invented stuff like hologram technology somehow.
But that's just my problem, Jova. Like Ashley says in the review of movie 4. What a rip! I like Rogers just the way he was, this guy's only Rogers in name at this point. He's a completely different character by this point.
Like, that's the thing, Rich. You had something good going with Rogers, and you ruined even that. How?
Exactly.
Why?
Because Richard will not stop until he ruins everything. Clearly, like just.
Well, Adam's still got him beat.
He's off his rocker, Jova. He's gone. Like, there's no reasoning with him at this point.
Oh god, you referenced the song Zelda's Gone from movie 3.
Yes. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it. The movie is still really, really fucking bad. And that's basically it. Okay.
So
Okay.
what awaits us next time, Pedro?
Supposedly now things really get better for real.
Yeah, we do have this movie 8, to be fair, is the first big noticeable improvement that we have. It's still going to turn out to be not that good, not even good at all, bad still, but it's the most close to passable movie they've made since the third one. So there's that, or the second one even. So there's that. Tune in next for Swan Princess 8. Many of these are you going to make rich before you call it quits?
Never.
A royal mystery. And yes, I said that correctly.
Yeah.
See you then.
See ya.
See ya.
Right.